I am the host now.
It's all you, dude.
All right, all right. And let's see, we got Alex and Tiara. Let me see if I can let people in. Yep. Adrian DeHaro. We're seeing some new folks in the room.
Hello.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everybody on this fine Wednesday? Welcome to our Wednesday role play session. Hopefully you guys are coming, have been doing some work, maybe have had some challenges on dealing with some potential sellers or buyers or whoever. And I also have a little project that I want to maybe work on today where I have a list of some hedge fund buyers. And hold on. I have a list of some hedge fund buyers that I'm kind of anxious to jump on and see, what kind of results I can get out of those conversations. So maybe we'll do some of those calls as well, if that's something you guys would like to, hear or participate in.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Adrian, are you saying something? I can see you kind of talking, but I'm not hearing anything.
Can you hear me now, by chance? Hello?
Yeah. Let's see. Jason Richter, can you say something so I can see if I can hear you?
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
All right, so you guys, I'm operating on my cell signal, so this may not turn out to be the absolute best scenario, but hopefully we can make some progress and get through this. If I freeze up or can't get through or have issues, you guys please let me know. Like right now, I can see Adrian and I can see Jazzo moving pretty well. Jason Richter, okay, Jason, you're back. I see Luke Canal has joined the room. Okay, good. So hopefully we can get some stuff done today. Alex and Tiara Aguilar, thank you guys for being here as well. Cool. Hey, you guys got any questions, any challenges, anything going on right now that maybe we want to address before we get started? Any challenges? Welcome, Alex. Any challenges you guys have been going through as far as the phones, some conversations that you think you might want to have that you haven't been able to have, or maybe been stuck at a point where someone's asked you a question or something that has, kind of threw you for a loop and you didn't have a comeback, anything like that? Maybe we can work through some of those items. All right, I know you guys are out there working because I know you guys are in this game. So tell me what's going on, man. What's going on with you guys? What kind of challenges are you seeing? Is the market changing for you? Are you having more difficulty moving your stuff or sourcing good deals or dealing with co-wholesalers and JV partners?
I've left a bunch of voicemails and I've had a hard time getting any callbacks lately. So
what time of the day?
Just different times. And there's actually two houses right in my neighborhood that are run down and I can't, haven't been able to get in touch with anybody.
Is that right?
Yeah.
You're driving for dollars or walking for dollars?
Yeah. And, a few weeks ago, good to see you back, Victor.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
Hey, a few weeks ago, you mentioned that Velocity REO, and I've been doing a bunch of those. And it's funny when I do that, when you do those, you run into other properties.
Exactly.
So it doesn't. Exactly. They don't pay a lot, but it at least covers your gas anyway.
Yep, and it sends you into some areas that you might not have known.
Yeah. So that's pretty much. I've been doing some driving for dollars and
yeah.
Leaving voice messages, but yeah, I really haven't had a lot of activity yet, but I know it's coming.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I've managed to get into, back and forth conversations where we're negotiating back and forth on some properties as a result of going out and doing those Velocity, photos and talking to neighbors. And the good thing about it is, and just so you guys know, there's a company called Velocity REOs, and they will pay you to go out and take pictures. You take them with your cell phone. The normal set is like normally, like in my area, it's like $8 to $8.50 for a typical set. They'll pay you more if you have to go a little bit further. They'll try to pay you a little bit less as if it's real close to you. You can turn down as many of them as you want. It doesn't affect you in any way. You can go off the system if if you're out of the area or something. You can just go off the system and be completely off of it if you want to do it that way. I'm trying to let Muhammad. Okay, there we go. If you want to do it that way, but it's kind of cool because what it'll do is it'll pay for your gas, like Jason was just saying. It'll pay for your gas, and it'll send you into areas that you otherwise might have not known about or been familiar with. So it's really cool like that. And then you can do some searching. Now, worst case scenario, if you don't find a house, what you will get is if you talk to the neighbors, and you'll always talk to the neighbors. Some of them will be like, what are you doing here? Or what are you doing? Or, I'm watching my neighbor's house or whatever, trying to be superheroes. But a lot of them they're just going to be social with you. But as you know, to know your market, you need to know the insides, right? What the neighbors are doing, who's who, who is the cackling hen. Somebody put the Velocity REO link in. Oh, Jason put the link in the chat for you guys. If you guys want to check it out, it doesn't cost anything to join. It's just a really good thing, especially if you want to do some driving for dollars in your area and have them pay for the gas. Just to give you an idea, last year they paid me over $1,800 to drive for dollars. Not a bad deal, right? That's a lot of gas. That's a lot of gas. But anyway, so what it does is it puts you in a community and allows you to have conversations with people and get information about communities that you wouldn't otherwise get, that you can't look up on the internet, that you don't even know what to search for when you're doing it. That this person over here is running for city council, or the school board just had a blow up behind something, ridiculous, or whatever. It's just a really, cool little way to put a couple of dollars in your pocket and get some market knowledge. Anyway, anybody have a particular, let's do a role play, you guys. Anybody have something they want to kind of work through, kind of had a challenge with here recently, haven't been able to really, sort out anything? There's my man, Alex, who is always in the game, man. How you doing, buddy?
Dude, life is good, man. I got back from the Dominican Republic, so I've been out for a little while. But
what? They opened up some travel to the DR.
Yep. So had the dream trip to the Caribbean. Went where they filmed Pirates of the Caribbean. Caught a marlin. I mean, just did all different types of cool stuff. It was.
You
nice.
caught a marlin?
A blue marlin, yeah, the boss of the ocean. Yeah.
What? Damn, that's a story worth telling. So you back to trying to get your engine restarted, or were you kind of doing a little bit of something while you were on vacation?
I did nothing while I was on vacation. I didn't even touch my phone. Didn't touch emails. It was great. It was awesome. So work hard, guys, because those vacations are around.
Yeah. Was it a package, or did you kind of just do it on your own?
Well, it was for my honeymoon, but it was kind of a package, but we just paid straight through the hotel and all inclusive, and we had a private butler, and oh man, it was gangster.
Oh my God. Okay, so you just took the plunge, huh?
I took the plunge, and it paid for everything, and negotiated with some people on some locals and some shops. That was pretty cool. So yeah, man, life is good. Got a deal before I left. So that was good. And there's one that I'm still working on. I've tried to talk to Claude about, and what I've been doing hasn't been working as of yet. So I kind of wanted to go through the role play with this guy.
Okay.
I guess.
Okay. That sounds good. Hey, you guys, let me do. I'm. This is a property that I'm in that I'm actually sitting in Iowa right now, working on a property that I'll kind of give you the little background. I bought the property at such a ridiculous price with seller financing. And the property itself is a profit, right? In other words, I bought it well below market. But that's not the attractive part. The attractive part is that it's on 1.25 acres and it has a warehouse slash storage slash shop facility that I am looking to rent. In fact, I had a couple people come through yesterday, including one ServiceMaster franchisee who is looking to expand on his space. So the whole other side is cash flow, right? So it's a really good deal. I came down here to kind of, I expected to be down here for 2 days. I've actually been down here now almost for 2 weeks, and kind of, learning, getting the lay of the land, sort of enjoying it a little bit. It's a completely different than where I am in California. You talk about a whole different world. It's nice to be able to get everywhere that I go in like 6 minutes. In California, you can't even get out your driveway in 6 minutes. So give me 1 second. I have to. I'm going to make a quick connection with a vendor that's supposed to come over this afternoon. That's who keeps calling me. So let me just handle that call real quick, and then I'll get back and we can do the role play with you, Alex. If you guys want to chat amongst yourself, feel free. Okay, give me just 1 second.
All right, sounds good.
Hey, was that catch and release, Alex? Did you release it, or I think you're muted? You might be muted, but it might be my end too.
No, that was operator error. Yeah, so it was it was catch and release, which is good. I mean, it was probably a 30, 35-year-old fish, so it was
I was just curious. Yeah, I went tuna fishing one time. I've only done that one time, and it was just such a beautiful creature,
Yeah, no doubt.
We've released it as well, so
I love that. Okay, well, guys, who has some deals that they're working through right now? Has anybody gotten a deal in the last month that they want to share or talk about, or challenges or anything?
I actually haven't even started. I'm hoping to start my next week. Any tips that you guys have or anything?
Okay. Well, yeah, man. Well, welcome, Adrian. So what are you looking to do? Are you like an investor? Are you like an agent, or what are you doing? Probably investor.
Yeah, I'm looking to just, start at the bottom, the real bottom. I guess I'm gonna start with ugly house deals, and just kind of work my way up. So I guess I'd be future investor. Yeah, investor yet to be. That's my main goal. Yeah. I've been kind of like following wholesaling for like 3 or 4 months, and until like real recently, like 3 to 4 weeks ago is when I really been hitting it hard, kind of really get ready, start cold calling and sending blasts and just trying to lock in my first deal,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, well, this is my advice. Some people might stray away from it. I would do a blend of cold calling and door knocking personally. The eviction, like all the moratoriums are getting ready to get lifted. It obviously depends on how foreclosures handled in your state, but I mean, for me, that's where I started. As I started door knocking, and I've gotten a lot of deals from door knocking and teaching other people how to go door knocking pre-foreclosures. So you can get a list from, your title company, and they'll send you weekly the, properties in pre-foreclosure, and look those people up and figure out when their sale dates are, and just go talk to them and let them know you can help them. That, in my opinion, that helps with overcoming objections and being confident. Because I mean, you could cold call someone all day, but I mean, to have the balls to go up and talk to somebody face to face, That's my personal opinion. Other side of the coin, that's not a very good use of time. I would say, you know, cold calling and cold calling a list is good. Obviously you could do the dialer and this, that, and the other. But I found the most success cold calling when I call somebody. I'll call like one number and then I'll call like the next number and I'll go back to the original number that I called within a minute or two, because if someone's getting a call from a number they don't recognize, at first they're probably not going to pick up. But if you double tap them, you know, within the same minute or two, the chance that they're going to pick up the second time is a little bit higher. Just my personal opinion. You know, driving for dollars is good.
I appreciate that.
I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that's good advice, bad advice?
Yeah, no doubt. I agree with that. And the double tap is, you know, that's a gun term, but the double tap is absolutely right, because I know that I filter calls based on whether or not I recognize the number or the area code. And so typically I know that spammers, they don't call back a second time. They normally just will, you know, on to the next one, because they're on a speed dialer and they're trying to get through as many as they want. So typically if I hang up and call right back, and I'll call back as many as 2 or 3 times, especially if I think that I really, you know, there's some opportunity in the deal. I see a lot of equity or whatever in the deal. Usually when I call back the second or third time, they'll pick up, and then it'll really make it easy for me to break the ice with them. I said, I know you were screening my call because I do the same thing, you know, so that's why I called you back, because you probably don't recognize my area code. But, you know, nowadays everybody travels with their cell phone. But I wanted to talk to you about such and such, right? So now we kind of have a little connection. We have something in common, because most of us do the exact same thing, right? So now you're talking to somebody who has something in common with you. And it kind of now lowers their guard a little bit, makes you a real person, takes you away from the, you know, crank caller, spammer, telemarketer conversation a little bit. And now you have a little bit of a relationship. They know you're a real person. They know you're working, you know, on your cell phone more than likely. So it humanizes you is my point. So he's exactly right in terms of that. I do the exact same thing all the time. But Alex, if you're ready, man, we can do your role play.
Okay. Yeah, I'm down with that.
Okay. So give me the scenario.
Okay. So the scenario here is a little bit different. Long story short, this guy, he went through probate, got his mom's house. He's been renting out his mom's house to his ex-husband and all this stuff. Him and his ex-husband have a great relationship. He is not living in the property with his ex-husband, but his ex-husband has made payments for a certain amount of years or whatever. Long story short, I gave him a letter of intent, said, hey, you know, this is what I want to do. Gave him a timeline, and he messaged me a couple hours before the deadline of the letter of intent, said, hey, you know, pretty much gave me a release statement like, hey, you know, I'm not going to be able to meet your deadline. If you want to move on and work with someone else, I completely understand, but I'm getting ready to have surgery in late August, and I don't know if it's going to be in state or out of state. And that's kind of how he left it. So, I mean, to push the urgency is kind of difficult because he has this quote unquote looming surgery. He doesn't need to sell this house. It's not in pre-foreclosure. There's very little owed on the mortgage. But it has a decent amount of deferred maintenance, and he does want to sell it off market because he doesn't want a realtor to go through the house. So okay. I'm trying to set up the conversation to, you know, have a precursor to have another conversation and maybe set some expectations and work on, you know, I don't know, creating some type of urgency. I don't want it to just fall through the cracks, but I want to stay in touch with them and still let them know that I'm here, you know? Okay.
So what did the numbers look like?
So the numbers, I gave him an offer at 215,000, and it's definitely worth 350 to 375.
Wow. Really? Like that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. when his sense of urgency, it sounds like he has a situation where he has some challenges where he's going now to have to go to get surgery or something, right? But he's not worried about the payments because his ex-husband is making it.
That's correct.
Yeah, so he doesn't have, so he's not really moved. He's not like, it's not urgent for him. Like he just, it's at this point right now, it's just a good idea.
But also, yeah, that's very true. Good point. He also does want to get rid of it by the end of the year because he does want everything to quote unquote be officially done with his husband or ex-husband. He wants him out of the picture and out of the house and the house behind them.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Because he those payments are kind of tying them together. They're the ties that bind at this point.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I see that. Okay. So what role do you want me to play?
I mean, I guess I'll be I'll be the guy, and I guess you could play it. I think that would be really good. You're really good, Victor. So let's try that.
Okay. All right. So you're the seller and I'm trying to buy the property. Okay.
Yep.
Ring.
Hello.
Hey, Alex. This is Victor. How you doing?
Good, Victor. Good to hear from you, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I was thinking about you the other day, and all the challenges and stuff, and I really was, trying to come up with something that's really going to serve you in terms of, handling your situation and allowing us to move forward with the transaction. But last time we talked, it kind of felt like you were weighing a number of different options, or you didn't feel like you were that motivated to move forward right now. Am I off base with that, or?
Yeah, that's right. I just kind of got this surgery coming up, and I really don't want to make any decisions until after that.
Okay. So how does that fly in the face of getting it done by the end of the year? And here's why I say that, because as you have probably seen in your neighborhood, the signs are staying up a little bit longer. You're starting to see that there's a little shift in the marketplace, and we're kind of moving away from this multiple offers and overpriced properties and stuff. So we may run into a little bit of a situation where it's going to be a little bit harder to get what we want on the terms that we wanted. So what I would like to do is have a conversation with you about putting everything in position now, so that when you get out of your surgery, we can just basically move forward at that point and solve this situation with you and, the ties that are binding you to, your situation and your past and those types of things. Is that something we can talk about, or maybe not?
Yeah, I think we could talk about it.
Okay. All right. So let me start with when are you going in for surgery?
Well, it's kind of up in the air. I think it's going to be either like the last week of August or the first week of September. Okay. So if it's the first week of September, that leaves us with less than 3 months to sort of, get all of this in place, get you situated and get you out of it. Now, I really believe that this is something that we can actually have handled before you go into the hospital. Is that something you've considered? To just kind of clear the plate for yourself and go in, have your surgery, and come out with a fresh start? Yeah, I just don't know, my Ken, I just don't know what Ken's going to do. He needs another place to live, and he probably needs several months in order to get out of the house and stuff like that. So. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm really kind of stumped right now, as you can probably tell, that I get that you want to get this done. But it sounds to me like you need to really get on to some decisions. Like,
right now there seems to be a lot of loose strings hanging around about the place. What would be, let's say that you were to wake up the day after your surgery went absolutely successful, everything that you wanted, got accomplished. You're looking forward to a much, brighter future, a much healthier life going forward. You wake up on that next morning, what would be the ideal scenario for you? What would you like that to look like?
Yeah, I guess just having it handled and having something set up, that would be good.
There you go. So this is the conversation that I'm having, and I don't want to push you. I know you have a lot of stuff going on right now, a lot of stuff on your mind, not just, health wise and stuff, and I really acknowledge you for just, having the courage and staying in the game and, dealing with what you're dealing with. I not that we always have a choice, but, we always have a choice of how we deal with it. And I just kind of, I admire you for what you're able to hold together during this process. And, I'm thinking anything that I can do to support you and help you get through this, I'd like to do that. So with that in mind, okay, so off the role play. So what I wanted to do there, what my objective is in that conversation, that part with him, and it's probably a little bit different than Claude does. Claude is a little more direct. He's a little bit more East Coaster than me, and his method is really effective for him. For me, I find myself being uncomfortable, and I'm not as effective as if I'm uncomfortable. But I'm working on my hard muscle like that, Claude. Just so you know. but so what I wanted to do was just kind of, bring the picture back together. And I need to try to have him have a vision of what's possible now, because he's kind of all over the place. He's kind of on the fringes of everything, right? Everything is just a mess and turmoil right now. He's emotional. He has relationships that are challenging. He has financial situations that are challenging. He has health issues that are challenging. So I want to connect with him at a level where he really understands that I get it, right? Because I want to be his guy, because he's going to have a lot of decisions coming up, and I want to make sure that I'm anchored in as one of the solid pieces that he doesn't have to worry about. So back on the role play. So, let's see if we can't put together something where, if in fact we don't get it done before you go in, let's say that, your ex cannot find a place to live. And by the way, what is his challenge? And maybe we can talk about how we can solve his problem at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just, I'm a little bit passive, and I'm kind of worried to talk to him about the situation.
Oh, okay. So is he on title with you?
Nope, he's not.
No?
No, but he's been there for a while, and just want to make sure he's paid, compensated. But that's something I can worry about myself. But I just want to make sure he's paid for the time he's been there too, and what he's put in. Okay. Now, he's not living in the property, right? You're living in the property, is that correct? No, he's living in it, and I'm living in another house completely.
Got it. Okay, and does he know that all this is going on, such that, when we do consummate this deal, that he can go ahead and, move out, that he'll have some resources, et cetera? Is he even involved in that conversation right now, or maybe not?
No, he's not. He has not had any conversations at all. No, he's not even aware.
What is the opportunity that we could maybe, would it be okay if I had a conversation with him? I know that's kind of out the box, but would it be okay if I had a conversation with him and maybe talked about some possibilities? Would you be comfortable with that?
No, I don't think that would. No, I don't want to do that. I'd rather not have you talk to him. No. Okay. All
right. Well, here looks like where we're at, right? And I completely understand. You're in a situation that you are, but you're going to have to make some decisions, Alex. And, you know, they're not going to be easy decisions. And I can help you make the, you know, get through this process and get the money in your pocket and help you move on to the next phase of your life. Coming out of this surgery, the last thing you want is all of these stresses on you. But I'm going to definitely need to have some cooperation in terms of everybody who is involved in this having a conversation. And if you're not willing to have the conversation or able or whatever, and I can't have the conversation, you know, I really don't see a resolution for this, you know, for us. I mean, am I off base there, or, you know, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking I could come to an agreement, I guess. I could figure it out, and then he could just, you know, I could tell him what to do next.
And how would that work in terms of him being able to move out and find a place? Because, I mean, think of it, if it was you, and I'm thinking about it in terms of, if I take over this property now, and then I have a disgruntled individual who was not informed and does not have information and is now in a situation where they now have to find a place, and, you know, they get angry or whatever, you know, I mean, the property could be at risk. I could be at risk. The transaction could be at risk. So this is not the type of transaction that we can do sort of clandestine. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So at some point we're going to have to deal with this. Now, barring that, you know, I'm really at the point right now where I don't know if I can actually help you, Alex. I don't know. Because you know, something like this takes cooperation, and you know, if you're not able or willing, I am. So if you allow me to participate, and if you're comfortable with, you know, my way of speaking, my demeanor, my ability to, you know, to be, you know, conscientious of his feelings or whatever, it's a conversation that I feel like I could have. But if the conversation is not had, I'm afraid, you know, this feels like it's over. Why do I feel that way, Alex?
I mean, you just can't get resolution before the surgery, I guess. But maybe after.
So what happens after the surgery?
I guess I would have some time to think about it and figure out exactly what to do and talk with him.
Did you hear what you just said? And I'm gonna just point out a couple of things. You said, I guess, and I'll have to think about it.
I know, right?
You know, I love you, Alex, but we can't, you know, that is not the way we're going to be able to complete this deal. You know, so it sounds to me like this is over. It sounds to me like, you know, here's what I can do. I'll send you a you know, letter of intent. I'll put you on this on my schedule. I'll follow up with you. Do you read your emails regularly, or would it be better if we communicated through text?
Yeah, you could just do email. That's fine.
Okay. All right. Do you check them regularly?
Yeah, from time to time. Yeah, sure.
Okay. So here's what I'll do. I'll send you an email, and is it okay if I text you and let you know that I sent the email?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so we'll do it like that. I'll follow up with you, but you know, it sounds to me like this might be over, but I'll send you over the letter of intent, and then we'll see, you know, I'll follow up with you, and hopefully you know, after your surgery and you're feeling a little bit better. But understand, Alex, that the same decisions have to be made. The same conversations have to be had. Now, you can either have them now, or, you know, if you feel like you're going to be now, I don't know many people that feel better after a surgery until a period of time has passed. And if we're talking about a deadline of the end of the year, we're kind of, you know, we're kind of up against it right now, buddy. I hate to tell you this, but, you know, you're going to probably have to, you know, man up on this one and take the pain. And I don't mean the surgery, I mean the emotional.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Are you ready? Are you ready to do that, or you know, or maybe not?
Okay, I see where you're coming from. Yeah, I guess I'll have to make some decisions.
You understand that it's not going to change the day after the surgery, right?
Right. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Everything that has to be done still has to be done. Now we can either do it today and clear your plate and have you come out of this surgery with an ability to heal, you know, both mentally, emotionally, physically, and financially. I say both. Those are 4 things, but you know what I mean, right? So my solution is that if, you know, and my suggestion is that we handle this right now, get this thing out the way, have the conversation that we have to have so you can actually come out of this surgery and heal.
Right. Okay.
Because right now it seems like, you know, there's some fear, there's some consternation. You're, you know, and I totally get it. I get it. And, you know, it's not a good place to be, but you have to deal with it.
Okay. Yeah, no, I think that's good. Off the role play, Victor. I think that's good, man. I think that's a good way to leave it and let him know, you know, that he needs to make a decision beforehand, you know, because I brought this up on Monday's webinar, and somebody was talking about a first right of, with the first right of refusal and things like that. And I mean, that's a good option, but I feel like if you don't address it, like you said, I mean, just going to forget, you know, there's no urgency. It's like, hey, either deal with it now or never kind of thing. I think that's a better way to approach it. I mean, neither one is right or wrong, but I think with this guy's personality, I think that's kind of the better way to address it.
Yeah, because you kind of came off like really sort of like passive, right? And so I know that most passive personalities require pushing. Like they need to be nudged. They need to be, you know, told what to do in a way where, you know, not necessarily commanded, but they need to be given direction.
For sure.
And then, you know, need to have a reason to make a decision. Right? Like all this guy is doing is prolonging the pain. He is refusing to make a decision that is a difficult decision, and it's going to require the participation of people. The last thing this guy can do is imagine if he makes all of these decisions. This guy has been paying on this house for however long he's been paying, and now all of a sudden you just drop in his lap that you got to go. Right? So I wanted him to recognize that would be a fucked up thing to do.
Okay, that's good.
Let's deal with that.
Okay. Well, man, that's really good.
Cool. I appreciate
it. Yeah, man. I just want to, you know, we're at about 11:40. I just want to make sure some other folks get some time too, man. And I could review. Is this going to be on? Is this recorded?
Yeah, it's recorded. It's streaming. Yeah, we have it all set up, so you'll be able to see it on YouTube on Justin's channel, and he also posted in Claude's Skype.
Okay, bet. All right, awesome. Well, thank you, man. That was really good. That was good perspective for a passive seller, man. So right on.
And I think that's all he is. He's just passive. He's afraid to make decisions. He's afraid to, you know, confront his ex. You know, he's riding the gravy train of the ex paying the bills and stuff. You know, and he wants to be clandestine in his maneuvering, but he can't be clandestine and fuck over this guy like that. And that's where I would go. I would remind him, you know, you get ready to fuck this guy over. And this guy, you know, despite whatever he did, at least he's been making the payments and stuff. Your credit is benefiting because of what he's doing on your behalf. You know, should he decide to go south on you, things could go really bad, and you can come out this surgery really in a bad situation if you don't handle this shit. So I suggest you handle it.
That's good. Damn, you're good, man. That's right on.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, man. Alex, I appreciate it, man. You always come strong, man. You always bring good stuff. I really appreciate you participating and helping me, you know, make an hour.
Yeah. Well, thank you, V. Yeah, man. Sharpen the axe, dude. Right on.
All right, for sure. Hey, anybody have any comments, feedback, anything that they saw, anything I could have done better, different, a direction that we could have probably gone in, anything at all? Herbik, I know you always, you know, you're a very thoughtful guy. Any thoughts or ideas?
No, I think that the conversation went pretty well. One thing that I would add you know, for like Adrian, who I heard earlier, he's just kind of getting into the business, is yeah, you know, you want to do a little preparation, right? Maybe have you know, a couple footnotes, but you kind of want to sometimes just jump right in and get your feet wet, man, and just start making those calls. You know, you're gonna come across some easier conversations, easier than others, but all of it is always you step away with a little more experience. And so I just wanted to add that, you know, we'll maybe just, because I know it seems like Alex is kind of having a little bit of a tough time getting back on the phone. He's kind of doing a little, you know, preparing for the phone call because it seems like it's going to be a tough one. But yeah, a couple footnotes and then just jump right in. Usually it goes well.
Yeah, and I don't know if Alex has a problem getting back on the phone per se. I think he's very good at preparing beforehand and anticipating the challenges that'll come up. And maybe, you know, kind of developing a strategy for how to, you know, speak into the existing condition.
Yeah.
And that's what we all need to do, right? That's what we all need to do, kind of prepare beforehand, know what we're speaking into, and address those things within the conversation. And you know, like Claude says in his training, you know, you always want to acknowledge, you always want to, you know, edify and make them feel good about where they are, while at the same time, you know, nudging them towards, you know, making decisions. And it, you know, and when they start looking like they don't want to make decisions, then, you know, look, you know, this feels like it's over. You know, Claude always says, "Why do I feel that way?" It makes them tell him why he feels the way he feels, which I think is a brilliant little strategy, right? You know, that's Claude, right? Yeah. So Adrian, tell us a little bit something, man. You brand new on the set, haven't really seen you before. What's your experience, man?
Yeah. So as far as like my experience, I'd say I'm pretty new. You know, to like not too new, but like new enough where I haven't, you know, started dialing, cold calling, and doing all that, going through with it. But I've been following wholesaling for like 4 months, and until recently, I really, you know, get at it and just really get ready to start cold calling and, you know, just, you know, getting my feet wet, getting after it. But yeah, I'm looking to start off with ugly house deals, you know, and do that. I don't know how long I want to do that, but I guess the main goal right now is just trying to get my first deal locked in. And
what is your training up to this point? What have you been focused on in terms of how you're training?
So,
are you training? You know, you're going after the wholesale sort of, you know, buy ugly houses and flip them. Do you understand how, you know, the market that you're in regards to, you know, ugly houses and, you know, the availability of flippers and things like that in the marketplace?
I'd say I have a good idea, you know.
Yeah. Okay, good.
You know,
Good. Because you understand that there's a dynamic to, you know, any market that you're going into, right? If you're going to be in a flipping market, if you're going to go after, you know, ugly houses and sell it to, you know, turn it over to some flippers and stuff, what's the first thing you have to have?
First thing I have to have is probably some I'd say some buyers ready.
Exactly. You need to be in a market where there's flippers. So think about that all the time first, right? Like, don't start looking to do flips in a rural area where no one is doing any flipping.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Because you'll find a deal out there, right? But if your methodology is I am going to move these to flippers, you have to make sure that you're swimming in a pool that has flippers fishing in it.
That makes sense. Thank you.
Right? That is the absolute first thing, because I see all the time that people think that they want to be in the ugly house business and that they want to do flipping and they want to do that, right? And then they just go and look for any ugly house. Yeah. But that's not really how this game is played successfully. For you, if you're going to be in the flipping business, the first thing you need to find out is where are the flipping holes?
Okay.
Right? Where are the flipping holes? Where are people doing flips? Where are people buying and turning over? What neighborhoods are supporting flipping and encouraging flipping and has activity in flipping and stuff like that, right? Because it is really frustrating to do a whole lot of work only to find that you can't even find somebody who you can turn it over to. Or by time you do all the ministrations of the deal and maneuvering of the deal, your buyer pool is down to about 4 people.
Yeah. What I thought about doing, because what I thought about doing to handle that, just to make sure I'm not, once I do get a deal lined up, just to make sure I won't be in panic mode, is, and let me know if there's a better way to find buyers. But I've thought about going on like PropStream, and there's like this new, it was one video that Justin Chambers had, but basically using PropStream to find some buyers.
Absolutely.
And trying to see snooping through what type of homes they sold, just so I can try to see what type of homes I should look for.
Absolutely. Yeah, reverse engineer.
Yeah.
Yeah, reverse engineer. Work your way backwards from where the activity is. See what they're doing. There's a on PropStream. There is a way for you to look and see what the flip comps are, and if they do have flip comps in your area, they'll show you pretty much every flip comp I've seen on PropStream has photos.
Okay. Sweet.
Review the photos because that'll give you an idea of what kind of upgrades, what kind of rehabbing they're doing in that particular area. That'll give you an ability to kind of give yourself a pricing structure. Are they putting in laminate floor? Are they putting in real hardwood floors in this area at this price point? Because understand that a $200,000 house is putting in laminate, $1 million house is putting in real hardwood floors. Right? So just like thoughts, and PropStream is great for that if you know what to look for and what information to extract from it. And it's not the obvious information, right? It's the information of where you understand the mindset of those people in that environment and what they're looking for and how they're upgrading in those areas. And so that'll give you a sense of the cost. The cost knowledge will give you an idea of what your pricing needs to be. Right? You need to look and see and figure out, what kind of percentage are people, because you'll find that it's kind of common. Like you go into one area and 70% is a done deal. They're buying them at 70% all day long. In another area, they won't touch 70%. They need it at 50. Right? So PropStream actually helps you do that. You sound like you're in there, so you can figure it out. Justin does some good training. PropStream has a breakout session that you can ask questions and do all that. But it's really good in terms of that. But when you're talking about ugly houses, one, like I said, know where you're swimming, and two, understand that is a longer process. And it's a longer process because a lot of those people haven't raised their hand and say, look, come and buy my house. So your conversations are different. Your follow-up is longer, right? But your profit margins are way higher in that environment. But I'll understand that very unlikely that you're going to, you may get lucky and turn a deal in your first month or whatever, but this business has a way of making everybody pay the price. Like I've seen people get a deal in their first month and then not get a deal for 7-8 months. I've seen people, not get a deal for a year and get 2, 3, 4, 5 deals in a row, right? Like that's just the way this business works. That's the nature of it. So understand where you are, understand what pool you're swimming in. The thing that we do, we teach a lot. And if you're following Justin, like you said, he is very lease option centric, right? Like he looks for pretty houses. The reason why he looks for pretty houses is because one, they're plentiful. Two, the person has already raised their hand and said, I am a seller, right? Come talk to me, right? The advantage, obviously, again, to you will be that you want to get as many phone calls under your belt as possible, as quickly as possible, right? So talk to people who want to talk. and let them be your training platform, so to speak, right? Because you can get beat up and you can get out of this business real quick in the cold market. Like if you don't have the financial sustainability, if you don't have the emotional sustainability, and if you don't get some fortune on your side, because it takes a little bit of luck sometimes, get some fortune on your side where you can knock one down. You know, it won't be long before either you or your family or people that care about you will start to just go real neg on you. That makes sense?
No, that makes sense. You know, I appreciate all that.
Yeah. So and stay plugged in. Stay plugged in with us. You know, let us know what your challenges are. Let us work through your situations. Like Alex, you know, he just has a conversation. He doesn't have a real challenge with all of this. You know, he shows up, you know, puts his tool belt on and goes to work. He's always in the game, but he's always growing. He's always growing. He's always, you know, look, well, how could I approach this a little bit different? What might I say to this person? How may I connect with that guy? And that's where his questions come from, real strong in that regard. And he doesn't show, you know, he doesn't have that fear of learning or that fear of asking a question or that, you know, and that's what I would, you know, for you, that would be the one thing I would say. Never be afraid. There's no stupid questions in this game. You know, you have people like Hervik. You know, Hervik just stepped right out and immediately offered a hand and some advice in order to, you know, support you in that way. And the whole crew is like that.
Thank you. Thank you as well, Hervik.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, man. So welcome aboard, man, and hope to see you, you know, around. And, you know, like I said, if you have any questions, you want to do a role play, you run across a challenge or whatever, you know, let's do it. You know, trust this, you'll get better and you'll make all of the people on the call better with you.
Yeah.
So, you know, the law of reciprocity says you give, you get.
Yeah.
So all of you guys, when you give, you know, reciprocity is always looking back at you. You know, just the opportunity, that just seems to be how it works. At least that's my belief. You know, you guys may believe different, but I believe in karmic retribution all the time.
Victor, like Claude's favorite, Tony Robbins says, giving is living.
Yeah.
I think I wanted to say really quick. First of all, Alex is the man. In no way was I, you know,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Thing. What I meant was that he was on here sharpening his axe, getting ready to go in to battle with that seller. You know, that's what I meant by, you know, what I said earlier. And then what I wanted to say to is it Adrian?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I know a lot of people fall into analysis paralysis, so just be careful with that. You know, you want to learn a little bit and then put it to work, and then, you know, kind of see what you did, what you might have done better, and then get back in there and do it again. Okay. You know, just build off of that. You know, it's kind of like my suggestion.
No,
yeah, absolutely. So in Alex's scenario, Alex had played that scenario with Claude earlier in the week, and Claude had put in the comments, give me 1 second, I have to switch back and forth with glasses because I broke my good ones. Anyway, so the right of first refusal, also known as first right of refusal, is a contractual right to enter into a business transaction with a person or company before anyone else can. If the party with this right declines to enter into a transaction, the obliger is free to entertain other offers, right? So basically what he was suggesting to Alex in this situation is to insert into his letter of intent the offer to, or, you know, the wording of first refusal, so that he wants to be the first person, given that he's already sort of, you know, been in this conversation, he's already sort of walked this guy through it, he's kind of become his guy now, and that's always where you want to be. He wants to now position himself so that there's, in the guy's mind, a contractual obligation to deal with him first. Not just a emotional obligation or, you know, a relational obligation, but a contractual one to deal with him first when anything is getting ready to pop off on this. It gives you a little extra leverage of position. Whether or not you're going to follow up and do anything legally or anything about it, that's going to be up to you. You may or may not do that, right? But what you want to do is you want to anchor. And the more anchors you have in the water, more than likely you're not going to float away. So that's where he was going with that. A great strategy to use. I try to use it all the time. Look, we've been in this together. I think, you're okay with what I've been offering. What I'd like to do is I'd like to have the right of first refusal. If in fact you get something better that I can't agree with, you'll be the first to know. I will not hold you up. But I think we've come this far. I've put in the work. I've given you some ideas. We've solved some issues. We've created a game plan. I just want to be the first one, to have the opportunity to close this up and meet your needs. Is that something we can do, or maybe not?
Hey, Victor, when you present something like that, are you also presenting, it's kind of like part of your letter of intent, but are you presenting also a price on the offer in communicating this agreement?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I offer a price, and the price, it's my price, and I'm going to fight for that price, and it's going to be where we start. It may not necessarily be where we finish, but it's a clearly defined starting line.
I have a lady that's in probate. It's kind of been the same thing. It's been months of me following up with her, and it seems like she wants to sell to me or deal with me. Recently, she said, we haven't really discussed the price, but recently she said that she's leaning towards getting an appraisal done because of the change in prices. Values have continued to go up. And I agreed with her. I said, it's a smart move, but I did want to get on a call with her and kind of present the idea of first right of refusal. I just didn't know if I should have a number, offer, well, yeah, in this case, you can't have an offer because she's introduced the possibility of doing an appraisal. Yeah.
So what that does to you, though, is unfortunately now it brings you back up to market value. So is this a deal that at market value makes sense for you?
So I think I could still negotiate some, and she's probably going to end up selling to somebody that's going to make a below market offer that's willing to take on the rehab, I'm thinking.
Okay, so there is some work to be done. So even if she gets an appraisal, are you near the property?
Not right now, because I'm in Florida right now, and the property is in Georgia. It's in Atlanta. But
okay, got it. Yeah, right. And I was just saying there because if you are ever able to be on site when an appraisal is done, be on site when an appraisal is done. If you are ever able to do that under any circumstances, be there with the appraisal so that you can point out all of the negative stuff and have him, reflected in his valuation.
Yeah,
all the time, right? But if you can't be there, now you're talking about, okay, so it has a lot of work to do. So even if she gets an appraisal is going to still identify all of the things that need to be done. So she's not going to get the top market value that she's looking for. So you should be, fine as far as that's concerned. I think all she wants is to get some clarity as to, what is a reasonable market value for her property in its present condition, right?
Most likely. She's probably seeing what's been flipped and how those are going for. In her mind, I'm sure she knows she can't sell for that much, but she doesn't want to shoot herself in the foot either. Yeah,
and you've actually gained an advantage here lately because the market is shifting back into our favor right now. People are stepping off of there's not the seller's market that it was even 2 months ago, and we're seeing it even if you look at the numbers of properties and how long they're staying, the listed properties, how long they're staying on the market. It's gone from 40 days to where it's now in excess of 90 days that properties are staying on the market. That's your first indicator that the market is shifting.
Victor,
right?
Is this nationwide that you what you just said, or is this in your region?
No, pretty much nationwide. I'm pretty much seeing it everywhere. Though, of course, there are hot pockets,
right.
That are still, quite robust in terms of that because they're at a price point that is just so attractive relative to the quality of the home and the quality of the lifestyle, et cetera, et cetera.
Mhm.
There's always gonna be those outlier communities that are like that, right? But
Right.
as a whole, as a blanket, we're starting to see nationally, the National Association of Realtors is seeing that nationally, the time on market is increasing.
Okay.
And you're starting to see that people are getting a little bit more concerned about where the market's going to go. People are starting to realize that these properties are overpriced. They're starting to realize that even if they buy these properties, and some of them are getting reality checks because they went in and they overpaid for properties and they took out all the contingencies, no inspection contingency, no, all of this stuff, right? So people are ending up with a bunch of shit on their plate.
So because I know that one of the things that's been coming up in the club is the fact that like it's really hard when it comes to lease options and stuff like that, right? So you're seeing the fact that lease options, that we're heading towards that, where there might be open to that.
Yeah, I expect that in the next 6 months or so, and I'm no expert or anything, right? But I'm in the game, and I expect that over the next 6 months, because you're starting to see that people are starting to come back to reality in terms of this marketplace, right? And Alex Guillen, he's a realtor as well. He could probably speak on this, so feel free to jump in here and add anything that you've also noticed, Alex. But you're starting to see the time on the market is a little bit higher. People are starting to realize that just because you can afford it doesn't make it a good deal. And they can only afford it because we're a payment society, right? We base everything on payment. So your payment at 7%, you're able to afford a whole lot more house at 2.5%, 3%. And so they're adjusting their offers and they're staying within that payment. But now there's a whole lot of people out there that are starting to realize that they made mistakes and that they bought into a bunch of crap. And now you're starting to see the stock market is starting to, it's still hot in certain segments, but it's cooling off a little bit. People are starting to be a little bit more concerned about it. That the capitalists in us are not big fans of what they believe to be the social thinking by the current administration. The spending, they expect inflation to start going up. So they have all of these concerns now. And so you're starting to see that people are realizing that, look, I could overpay for this house, or I could just, stack some money and pay lower rent and, and wait this out. And that kind of seems to be what the market is saying right now. Alex, you have any, I'm sorry, Sandra, did you have something else to say? And by the way, thank you for jumping in. I always love when you're around because you always bring such good value.
Oh, yeah, I know. I missed you. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I missed you as well. Yeah, thank you. I missed you as well.
Yeah. No, I was just about to add up, and then Alex can jump back in, is that one of the things that I'm coming across in terms of messaging is like, you're pretty much like a crazy if you're trying to buy right now.
Yeah.
Because of that.
Yeah, you've absolutely lost your mind. If you're buying right now, then in my opinion, you're just misinformed.
Yeah.
Alex, did you want to, I saw you unmuted yourself. Did you want to jump in here a little bit?
I do apologize. I've been out on vacation for the last 2 weeks, but I know that San Diego is still a very hot market. There's not enough inventory for people. So it's still, the fact that it is a hot market, it's still going to probably take a little while to adjust to what is going on in other markets. Yeah.
And San Diego is unique, because of its location, because of the weather, and because, it's a California market that even though, like if you go to Northern California, it's ridiculous. And now that we've had the ability to work remotely, a lot of the tech people especially are making these enormous amounts of money, have a bunch of savings and whatnot, and realize that they have San Diego as an option. And that's what's kind of driving that market. And there's certain markets in the country that are like that. And those was what I was referring to in terms of, those markets that are just going to be that way. But understand that most of our population is looking for the average bread and butter house. Most of our population is not in the tech sector that California caters to, right? The high income, business owner segment that drives California, makes it the 5th largest economy on the planet. Most places aren't like that. So, stay in the places where, it absolutely makes sense and that you can turn over deals the way you want to turn over. So, anything else, Alex?
No, I'm just happy to get back into making the calls, and I'm more focused on for sale by owners, expires.
Yeah.
You know, as a agent as well, you know, I go after that as well, and if I can maneuver something into where I can purchase it, then that's what I will try to get myself in.
Absolutely. That's my game plan as well. I'm looking to acquire and build assets and fund my lifestyle. So that's the stage that I'm at as well. But you know, I'll flip a $5,000 deal real quick if it's available. You know, Jasso, you turned off your mic as well. Did you have something you wanted to interject?
I'm on. You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I'm on. No.
No. Okay. All right. Corey.
Hey, what's going on, Vic? You doing all right?
What's going on, buddy? Good to see you, man.
Hey, man, it's good to see you, man. I've been kind of, you know, getting my shit together. I kind of partied last night with the Bucks, you know. So.
Oh my God! Did you see them put in work?
Man, them brothers put in work last
Ooh,
night.
they put it in.
Man,
they put it in.
Yes, they did, man. But I got a quick question for you, man. I got this situation going on where I got a guy who wants to sell me their house. I was actually sending him a lease option situation agreement. But after talking to him and looking over the house, we kind of decided that it would be a better cash offer deal. So he had it listed for sale by owner on Zillow for like $195. I got him to come down to $185 cash. And I got comps that's showing a couple of comps in his area that's like at $275, $274.
Nice.
You know, yeah. And it's move-in ready. Matter of fact, he has renters in there already. And he said he was just over there.
If he has renters, figure at least 5,000 to 10,000.
Okay, no problem. And so, I kind of, and so I was figuring like, okay, this may be a good wholesale deal. But what he was wanting is $1,000 EMD. How do we get around doing that?
Good. Well, there's one thing you can do is you can write a check, deposit it to escrow, and it's subject to all of your inspections, and give yourself the longest inspection period you can give. Okay. The check will not be cash, and what you would need to do is make sure that you either figure out a way to back out of it based on the inspection, or that you find your buyer before the period is up, and the buyer will then take over, and you would get your earnest money check back. Okay.
Because the last experience I had when I sent the earnest money check to the title company, they actually cashed it. Was it because I didn't? Was it because I didn't put something in there stating, "Hey, don't cash this"?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, so you have to put like some type of letter or memo.
Yeah. You have to let them know, and if they refuse to, find another title company.
Okay, so go ahead and write the check, and then just put a memo in there. Hey, don't cash this until the time after inspection.
Until after the inspection, to be held in escrow until after inspection period expires, and is signed off on.
Okay. That's what I'll try, because I kind of got stuck. Like, damn, I don't want to give $1,000 right quick just to put
right. Just to be in the game. You don't want to do that, and you need to let the seller look. I'll do the earnest money, the deposit. But I'm not in the business of just giving away funds. So here's what I'd like to do. I will deposit the money into escrow to remain uncashed until we go through the inspection period, and I know that I'm getting exactly what it is that I'm buying. That makes sense, doesn't it, Mr. Seller?
Yeah. Okay. That's exactly what I need to do. Yeah. See, Vic, that's why you the man, man. You clear everything up. You clear it all up, bro. I'm telling you.
I appreciate you, Corey. I appreciate you.
Yes, sir, man. No, we appreciate you, buddy. Yes,
for sure, man. That's great. Hey, thank you guys so much for showing up, man. I know I've been gone for.
I have one more question. Sorry, Victor. I have one
That's
more
okay,
question.
Sandra. Go ahead.
So I had a lot under contract, and I sent it out to buyers. I didn't hear anything from them. And I sent out to another set of buyers, didn't hear anything from them. So my third option was to go to realtors that were recently part of a land transaction. And so in my text blast to them, I had put off-market lot deal, assignment contract for sale for lot, and they still text me back and they were like, they don't understand that. What did I not say correctly? Because I always thought that
they said they didn't understand it.
Yeah.
Well, just let them know that, you know, you're making clear that because of laws, especially the way laws have been occurring around the country, that we have to stipulate that we don't own the actual property, that we are actually in control of an agreement that we are willing to transfer to them for a fee.
Right.
And that's it, because sometimes they just don't get the wording, and that's all you're doing. You just want to let them know that, look, I don't own this property. I have an agreement with this person in order to liquidate this property at a particular price point. I will sell you that agreement for a certain dollar amount.
Right, just selling the paper. So
yeah, that's it. I'm selling you an agreement. I'm selling you a binding contract and agreement. I'm not selling you the property per se.
Right. But I'm saying, like, what I had put, there's nothing, what I put on there was pretty clear, but that second conversation you're saying, you know, have this, what you just said to me, but originally what I had put in terms of off-market lot deal, assignment of contract for sale, there's nothing wrong with that, right?
Absolutely nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. It's just, you know, the verbiage may be a little bit foreign to them. You know, they tend to, even like some of these institutional buyers or some of these, you know, work for services and companies, they're still corporate, right? They're still corporate mindset. They're still corporate thinking. They're still paint by the numbers.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So sometimes you just have to clarify and you know, just stay in there with them, and you'll be doing them some training. They'll appreciate you for it, and it'll probably open up some opportunities later because you're going to show up like the person, you know, who knew what the hell they were doing.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Hey, you guys, I gotta jump off. I got some inspections getting ready to take place in this property. Sandra, Corey, Alex, Wojcik, Alex Guillen, Boston Buyer. Who's Boston Buyer?
It's Christian, Victor.
Oh,
what part of Boston, Christian? What part of Boston? I'm from Boston too. 15
minutes out, Medford.
Oh, okay. Malden.
That's it, Sandra. We should role play.
That's
man.
We're next door. We're next town over, Victor. Malden and Medford, next town over.
We are neighbors.
I grew up in Winchester though, and that's the next town over.
Let's do it next time. Thanks for being on the call, my friend. I appreciate you. Mohammed, Herwick, Lou, Jazzo, Adrian, Alex, and Tiara, I really appreciate you guys. See you guys next week, and just keep hammering away, guys. We'll get this done.
Thank
All
you.
right, thanks, Victor.
All right, Vic. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone.